Hello. Hey, what's up? You know what's really interesting is that I don't ever call you guys like the Horde anymore. I'm not like, "What's up, Hordies?" I still have that tag in uh the Discord, but I don't use that term when I'm talking to you, which is interesting. But then again, I also don't ever really introduce myself. Hi, I'm Luxander, like I'm like, "You're here, you either know who I am or you don't, and you're going to find out." Like, I don't know. Wow, true. Oh man. Anyway, hi. Thank you so much, Psychoplebalian, for your tier 1 sub. I'm hopeful for the future, even if bad shit is happening everywhere. Stay safe. True. Yeah. I don't know if I am experiencing what I would describe as hope or um I don't know. I guess what I would describe what I'm experiencing as a the gritty kind of hope. It's like that there's a post that goes around that describes hope as like, dragging itself up out of the mud, spitting out a tooth and fighting on anyway. And I'm like, if that is a description of what we could describe as hopefulness, then like yeah, that's happening. Decompression, is the stream quality bad? Well, there's nothing I can do about it except stop streaming. So we're not doing that. Oh, let me double check my audio, make sure it's not unnecessarily quiet for no fuck ass reason. Anyway, oh, there it was. Okay, it was low. Now it's back up again. Anyway, hello, Tima. Hello, Gayfesh. T Rex Dictator. What's up? Got people up on the website chat and YouTube chat quite active today. Hello. Unstillborn, Trinket, the unapologetic art anarchist, Dali, Mira, hello, Evil Cupra, Southern Autism, K Luna, hello. I have no idea, none at all, on who you are. Nope, I'm here by some bizarre reason that I can't even explain. I respect the fact that there are people in this broader ecosystem, users, audience members, who will just click on a random live stream. Couldn't be me. Can't relate, but I respect the fact that there are people who do that, and that's how this show gets to new people and more people. So I'm not annoyed at all when there's new folks in here. Even when there's trolls in here, I'm like, LOL. I find a way to have fun with it. Like, why am I going to be bogged down about what some person is saying to me over the internet? It just kind of, I don't know. It definitely is part of a backdrop of overall like negativity. So I'm not going to say that I'm completely unaffected by it, but I will say it seems that I'm less affected by it than other people. Man, what is up with my hair today? Whatever. I'm just going to ignore it. Trinket the unapologetic anarchist has a certain ring to it. True. I'm definitely feeling pessimistic about the future, but I'm going to push through it anyway. Maybe that's accurate. Maybe that's more accurate that, things are going to be bad. Like I don't see that as pessimism. I see that as like realism. I'm like, yeah, things are going to be bad. And what are we going to do? Like, let's make a plan. Let's get some progress going forward here. How is your hair always so full and flowy? I'm jealous. I learned what products to use. So, honestly, I recommend going on the Curly Girl subreddit. They have like a Excel sheet or like a Google Sheets thing that has like a bunch of different product recommendations on it. So there's like certain shampoos and conditioners that I use, but I think the big thing as far as maintaining the volume goes is getting a good hair gel. So yeah, I have hair gel in my hair, and then when I put my hair up in a bun on top of my head at night to sleep, and then when I shake it out, this is what that looks like. So yeah, get some hair gel. UV photograph of Jupiter. Hold on, I need to put this back over here. Why are you even over here? Why is it so big? Make it smaller. Okay. Nope. There we go. Okay, I was about to look at whatever Gayfesh just sent. So I need to pull up this tab and then click this. There we go. One step at a time. NASA has posted a photo of Jupiter under ultraviolet light. Based. Absolutely. That's good stuff. Jupiter is trans. Confirmed. Southern Autism says, regardless of what's happening, I'm just going to keep pushing and working on myself. I got a referral for vocal surgery this week. Nice. I know one other person who's had vocal surgery. As far as I know, it went well for them. So, oh my gosh, it's too warm in here. I don't know why it is so hot in my house the last few days. I'm like, I don't want to use the air conditioner this late in the year. Yeah, hair gel bun when you sleep, you know. I like twist my hair as I'm putting it in like a wraparound bun. So it kind of does two different twisties at the same time. I knew Jupiter was my favorite planet for a reason. Hello, Matthew. In the YouTube chat. It hurts to be alive. True. I don't know why. I'm like, why does my left butt cheek hurt today? What did I do yesterday? Was I like, I was like up and, oh, maybe something about, we did go bowling yesterday. So maybe something about like the process of, I've been really enjoying bowling. I've, you know, it's something that we do semi-regularly now. We took a little bit of time off because my partner's back was really hurting. But yeah, now we're back to enjoying doing that. It's not super expensive. It's a nice little kind of a date thing. And then our friend just moved up to this area from Kansas, so that's a thing that we can hang out and do together. So it's good. Very, very, very fun. I feel like I'm starting to understand it better too. Things like follow through, which is a thing that I know that. I've played other sports before. I know what follow through is, but it's like I realized I was like, oh, in one particular role, I had my arm like way out in front when I was finished. And I was like, oh, I think that you're supposed to do that. I think anytime I'm not fully following through is probably wrong. And like just lots of different little things about it. I feel like as an autistic person, I do not have a lot of body awareness. Like I have sat down on the floor with a mirror before in order to make sure that I'm doing yoga things correctly. Maybe that's more common than I think. Maybe it's not an autism thing, but like I feel like I have very low body awareness. And then I need like time to figure it out. And I kind of feel like this is something through my life. Like I remember when I was a toddler, I was like sobbing, and my mom was, we were like in the bathroom together, and she was like getting me ready for school or some shit. I don't know what it was. I might have even been younger than that. It might have been like daycare that I was getting ready for, but I was like sobbing, and I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I think part of that was like understanding what my face looked like when I felt the way that I felt. And maybe that was a little bit of like self-validation because obviously my emotions weren't being validated, you know, like that's probably pretty common for people with teenagers for parents that you don't really have somebody who's like, oh, you seem really sad, you know, what happened today or whatever. Like that, like quote unquote gentle parenting that's common now is it's just like recognizing that your child is experiencing something and checking up after them. Whereas like if you're especially like an actively abusive parent, like my mom was like physically abusive, then like I guess that it would be really difficult, I guess, or like it would be a really fucked up trauma bond that my mom just didn't do, where it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I feel so bad for what I did, blah blah blah. I didn't ever have that, so that probably would have made it worse. But yeah, so but I remember when I was a kid, like having to learn how to understand my own emotions by externalizing them like that. But my mom like made fun of me for looking at myself in the mirror as though like I was doing it for a performance for myself. Like it was real weird, whatever that was, that she was projecting on me when I was genuinely, I think I would have been like 3 or 4 years old at that time. And I can remember that so distinctly, like looking in the mirror and sobbing and crying, and my mom being like shitty about it, about the fact that I was looking at myself in the mirror. And like I processed that in retrospect as like I didn't understand my emotions, or like I think it helps to be able to see what you look like on the outside. And maybe like editing my own videos and stuff, I might have a greater awareness of how I come across to people than other folks do because I can see myself like, you know, and this is one of those things. I've said this numerous times as well. When I'm on the line and I'm arguing with people, the times where I feel like I'm really angry and I'm being a really big asshole, when I watch it back later, I don't really think I appear to be as angry as I feel or as I remember feeling in that conversation. So that is just an interesting thing to think about, you know, and I wonder if like an increased availability of selfie camera style like video might actually lead to like a greater awareness for people of like how they seem to others. I don't know. I kind of hate having things in my hair because it makes me feel squirmy and bad. So maybe I'll just cope with having fizzy hair. So as far as fizziness, and like to be clear, the products in my hair feel pretty light and natural. Like there are options. Like I say gel, and yes, when you first put the gel in your hair and then your hair dries, it is like hard and crunchy. But then you come through and you scrunch it a bunch and then it stops being crunchy and then it's just like, oh, hair, but the hair that's holding its shape. But I will also say, if you're having fizziness, probably what you just need is like either more or less protein in your hair. So I've actually been using, this is not advice, I've been using Selsun Blue shampoo because I have like acne and dryness both, which indicates probably like yeast on your head. So I'm kind of, every time I shampoo my hair, using Selsun Blue for that purpose. But I have, again, Curly Girl Guide recommended Tresemme shampoo, or sorry, Tresemme conditioner, which I can't remember if that has protein in it or not. I also have a deep conditioner, which you're supposed to leave on your hair for at least 10 minutes. That adds a lot of protein back to your hair. And then after I get out of the shower, I have a rice protein cream. It's a really thin cream. And then that goes in my hair. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. Before I do gel. Sometimes I skip gel. But if your hair is frizzy, then I would say probably just get some like really, and like rice protein is pretty light, it feels like to me. So yeah, that's what I would recommend trying out if your hair is frizzy and you're trying to get it to be curly instead. Yeah. Southern Autism says autism is pretty good at like emotionless anger, like super angry, but face doesn't show it. Yeah. I feel like I just am more willing to be directly kind of insulting or scathing when I'm angry. So it's like the vocabulary changes, but not necessarily the facial expressions. I'm not sure what the deal is, but anyway. I've never paid attention to anything protein related in my hair products. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Listen, it's so, okay, this is so interesting for me to think about as a person who was assigned female at birth, because I am just now in my 30s starting to learn about and get into things like hair care and skincare and makeup. And I was just telling my partner about this actually, that like now that I have some amount of makeup skill and I have a little bit of a vocabulary, and I finally put together the look. If you guys saw me on Thursday, I finally put together eyeshadow and eyeliner in one cohesive look, and it looked really good. I was going to do it again today, but I woke up too late. So it's so interesting, though, that like this stuff is stuff that you would think, oh, a person assigned female, like, is at home in those things, probably grew up learning about those things. And what's interesting is like I definitely did have family members who did those things. I just never expressed interest in it. And I didn't identify with girlhood very strongly or any of that. And so now as an adult, when I'm getting into these things, I'm almost like, oh, hey, now I have something in common with women that I can talk to them about. but it still feels like I'm coming into this thing as a complete outsider because I am. Like, it's funny. It's like just one of those areas where you get validated as a non-binary person, you know, that's like, it feels the same as when I'm like, I know enough about Dragon Ball Z to have a conversation with boys about Dragon Ball, right? Like that I can have a conversation with men about Dragon Ball. And I'm like, I figured it out. Like I learned about their culture and it's like a cross-cultural moment. And I also feel that same way when I'm talking to like Arden or our other producer about makeup. So big vocab changes, kind of angry, excessively colloquial, extremely angry, get really formal. Oh yeah, okay, that's interesting, Trinket. Steven V94 makes a very excellent point. Says, like the stream, love the stream, want more of the stream. Indeed. If you like the stream, then we will get more of the stream. I get very expletive when I'm angry. I don't, actually. I'm like really worried about accidentally being abusive. So I try really hard to not. Like the way that I am on the line is the closest I get to letting myself be like anywhere close to what you would consider like directly insulting or abusive. When I'm like, oh my God, dumbass, shut up. I need you to focus. You know, like stuff like that. That's like the closest I get, right? And I would never be like that, like away from the line. That's a very like for the sake of the performance kind of approach. And I don't do that until usually after the person has proven themselves to be a huge asshole anyway, right? I will say, I'm gonna give you fair shake. I'll have a normal ass conversation with people, even if they say heinous shit. It's not until the end that I start to get really annoyed. Or if like I'm on with Matt or Jimmy or something and they've kind of gone back and forth and riled up and everything, and then I try to get a word in and then somebody interrupts me and I'm like, listen, I let y'all go back and forth. Now it's my turn. Shut up. Like, listen. But I think that it kind of keeps me from communicating through my anger outside of that context, like in my real life. You know, I find it very difficult to communicate when I'm angry because sometimes I want to be an abusive piece of shit and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to. Like, you know, like it occurred to me to say something fucked up and I'm not going to. But it's hard for me to get that out of my head. And like, how do I communicate that something happened that I'm annoyed about without the other person, like without being directly harmful to them, and to make sure that they hear me and they can receive it and that they will be able to respond to it effectively, you know, like it's a lot of work. It can be quite difficult. Like I'm a spicy little bee, you know, but I have to do a lot of work. It's like to make it not spicy. As long as you don't get past 50% of how angry and rude some of the other hosts get, I don't think you'll ever stray close to the abusive worry. True. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I do actually, you know, straight up call people a dumbass, which I think is, in any normal setting, that's abusive. If you said that to a person that you loved, I would say that you're being abusive, you know. Not to be inappropriate, but you have a natural beauty that glows. Getting glammed up can be fun too, though, if you're in the mood. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, part of it is having a camera that has an AI function that automatically smooths over minor imperfections, I will say. I'll get a real camera someday. The next time I have $1,000, I'll buy a real camera with a proper lens, and then you'll get to see all of my... I'm getting old. I have, like, wrinkles under my eyes now. To the point where I'm actually considering getting some eye-specific products. Like, all of my hair... Okay, here's the thing. All of my skincare products say not to use them near your eyes. My face wash says that. Can't remember whether my lotion says that or not, but my retinol is definitely not supposed to be used right around the eyes. And so I'm like, okay, but I have wrinkles right around my eyes, and I also want to moisturize under my eyes and around my eyes. So what the fuck? I'm going to have to get some specific eye stuff. Maybe not lotion, again, but if I want to use a retinol or a cleanser, I guess, like, is micellar water a cleanser? Because I just got some of that for removing makeup, so I guess I am adding a product to my shit anyway. My face is so old that my tretinoin doesn't even help. Oh, well, I'm just saying, like, listen, it's preventative at this point for me, right? Like, it's preventative at this time. But I'm just complaining because I can't use any of the products that I currently have around my eyes. And my eyes are, like, obviously very sensitive skin. I've been, like, I think been too rough when I rub off my eye makeup because this part of my face hurts a lot. Like, right on the outside of my eyes. It's just really tender. So, and, like, if I wash there, it stings. So, yeah, AI generated, Luxander confirmed. Totally confirmed. 100% AI generated. Them little laugh lines. I don't know if it's laugh lines, if it's under your eye right here. Like, this is where my wrinkles are, under my eyes. I'm like, laughter lines I think of as being over here, which, like, this hurts. This part of my face hurts right now, but there's no wrinkles there yet. It's under my eyes here, like super close to my lashes. I don't know. My wife and I call each other dumbass. It's a term of endearment between us. Well, but you don't say it in the middle of a fight, like, and mean it, you know? Like, you don't go like, oh my God, dumbass, shut up. Like, you don't, you know, you would never do that and, like, really seriously mean it, you know? Like, I call my partner a B word all the time. I'm like, stop being such a B word. I would never call him a B word in a fight. Like, I literally wouldn't, like, when I say B word, I'm literally calling him B word. I'm not calling him bitch and censoring it for your benefit right now. I just call him B word. But I wouldn't even call him quote unquote B word in a fight because I'm like, that's not appropriate. I found your channel through your roasting of James Somerton. I'm glad that you appreciated it. We try to do a healthy mixture here. I don't actually know. Like, the channel identity on this channel is so all over the place. And I'm about to take a bunch of videos. Not a bunch, I guess. I'm about to take like 10 videos down off of this channel and post some new ones soon. But, like, I talk about drama in various communities. Like, whenever there are accusations of abuse, like, with some group that I know about, like, I'll talk about it. So that's something that has been hugely influential on, like, increasing the number of subscribers on my channel. And then, like, the day-to-day politics shit, which I don't do anymore. You saying B word reminds me of Ben Shapiro saying P word when discussing WAP. True. Yeah. The, where did the B word thing come from? My partner said, you punk A word, B word. And then that kind of, I call him that all the time now. I don't know why it's so funny to me. I'm like, you punk A word, B word. You A word, B word. I'm hopeful for the miracles of FFS one day. Give me young face again. Yeah, just pull it up a little bit further. And just pull it. My cellar water can be a cleanser. I use that in the morning to clean my face instead of a cleanser. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to, like, Melatonale. I'm gonna have to get an eye cream that has retinol. Like, I'm gonna need to get an eye specific retinol cream if I want to use retinol around my eyes, which I would like to do. And then I guess, I have my cellar water. I also use hypochlorous acid spray, for cleansing around my eyes, because that actually helps with, like, preventing dust mites and shit from living on your face. So maybe I'm good with that combo now. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I personally came for the Chaos Gremlin vibes. You don't even want to know. When I'm out bowling, I'm like, I'm doing all kinds of weird stuff. Like, when I'm waiting for my ball to come back, like, I'm such a strange person. Big bouncing boobies. True. Channel identity being all over the place. Very BPD coded. True. I've heard that my throat will get sore when my voice drops. Potentially, yeah. I mean, it's a part of your body that's growing. So, like, if you ever had growing pains when you were a teen, then, yeah, maybe. And then also, like, there's a lot of little tiny muscles in your voice. And frankly, I think that a lot of trans people probably have undiagnosed connective tissue disorders. So, like, when stuff changes in your throat area, and there's a million different muscles and fucking ligaments and shit in this area that all work together in complex ways, then like where your voice box is and how big it is and where you carry your voice in your throat are all going to affect all of that connective musculature. So I suspect that probably some of that soreness for some trans people is associated with a connective tissue disorder that they might not be aware of. That's my suggestion, anyway. My suspicion. 47 people here, 61 likes. I apologize if any. Oh, yeah, this is the beginning of the stream. I realized that I put on the title that we were going to talk about Epsteen, and then we're not talking about it yet, and we will. I just always dick around for a little bit first. So I guess I'm sorry that there's been people coming in and going, oh, you're talking about dumb shit like skincare and not Epsteen, so I'm going to leave now. I forgot that. Man, no wonder I stopped putting fucking political things in the titles of these videos. It's so much pressure to be like, talk about that thing. I'm like, okay, let's set the expectations low. Trans person dicking around. That's the title of the stream, you know? I'm a boring straight cis dude. Well, listen, being boring is not intrinsic. You know, you can change that. You can evolve. Skincare is not dumb. I know, like, yeah, but it is a feminine interest, and it's so interesting, right? Because I think the more I invest in my appearance, probably the more financially successful I'm going to be. Like, especially the more I invest in a feminine appearance. So the prettier my hair is, the smoother my skin is. You know, if I do nice subtle makeup looks, which today I'm not wearing any makeup, but or if I do pretty makeup or whatever, I think that all of those things are going to profit me, but it has to be invisible. Like, people want to consume me and femmes in general with those traits, but they don't want to see behind the curtain, so to speak. T-Rex Dictator says, I never had soreness from T dropping my voice. Yeah, so it's not everybody. Boo streamer, we're here for light and fanciful topics like notorious child sex trafficker Jeff Epstein, not heavy shit like interpersonal dynamics. I know, terrible. Come to see a cute T-slur talk about politics. Leave with a little chunk of therapy. Just a little tiny bit of therapy take home with you. I'm not trans, but my throat always hurts if I talk more than 10 minutes. I think it's probably because I tend to make my voice deeper than it naturally is. Hot tip, Melatonale. If you expand the amount of space that your voice takes up in your mouth and your throat, that might have a better impact on like making your voice appear deeper or masculine by giving it an increased amount of resonant space rather than by dropping the voice down. Like, oh my God, I'm not really good at this anymore. I've never really been good at it because I am never in like a significant practice of doing it, but I'm trying not to deepen my voice. I'm trying not to deepen it, but I'm just kind of increasing the resonant space in the back of my mouth and throat. And even then, I'm not really doing a great job of it. I might still be dropping my voice down a little bit unintentionally. But you have to like open up the space and let it resonate a little bit more. And if you do it enough, your voice kind of like, you can train your voice to hold its shape back there. I think that what I'm dealing with is I still have a good amount of pinching in the front of my mouth that's still making it come through a little bit more feminine, but like, oh my God. And it's like so hard to do while you're talking. Anyway. Okay. Let me bring that back out. Your deeper voice, even if it takes effort, sounds very nice though. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's just that I don't want to voice train. Like I you know, I'm femme and I don't need to. Dude, I was staring at that light without meaning to though, and it's so bright. Zarin says, boring is good. We've had more than enough interesting for the past few years. Fair enough. The concentration on display. Yeah, I'm like, my eyebrows are all the way up here. Have y'all heard of the theory that the Redditor user Maxwell Hill was Ghislaine Maxwell? They stopped posting when she got arrested. I did not know about that. That's interesting. I don't know anything about it, so, I don't know what that account posted or anything. Southern Autism says one of the bigger tips I've also heard is that resonance is about like the shape of your mouth when you're making vowel sounds in particular, like E versus oo. Yeah. It's a thing that you learn in choir. Like it's different in certain styles, right? Like for country music, sometimes you actually do pinch some of the vowel sounds on purpose. But if you're singing like opera, then, or if you're just like singing as a choir and trying to project across a space without microphones per se, then like, it's like fall on your knees. And like even the E has to be all the way in the back of your mouth. Like that was Gloria in Excelsis Deo. Is that what I was doing? But it's like all the way back in the back of your mouth. And so I think probably some amount of training of that when I was much younger allows me to have an awareness of what's happening in my throat in a way that maybe other people don't. Yeah, anyway. I did all sorts of voice training before COVID. Yeah, I lost the enthusiasm in quarantine. You really do learn what you're actually dysphoric about in quarantine situation. Like, I really thought that I wanted top surgery, and then I didn't have to be around people anymore. And I was like, oh, this is a you people problem, not a me and my body problem. So. Hello, Shakespeare says, country album when? Shakespeare says, for femme, resonate high, for mask, go low. Feel lit like a deep bellows and win over that projection. Blow people over with the boom of your voice. True. Yeah. Like power and projection. Anyway, little inside baseball for transness stuff. Yeah. People, y'all have been talking about singing country without amplification can be kind of hell. Yeah, because like, just think of simple stuff like, okay, like the word I, which like if you were singing operatically would be like I, whereas in country it's like I went to the store. And so you can kind of tell I'm doing a very exaggerated version, but all of those vowels are so pinched and tight. Yeah, you learn how to project real well. Yeah, you got to make up for it somewhere else. Yeah. Funny you were taught you pull the resonance back when my professor always wanted buzzing in the front of our faces when trying to resonate and project. Like literally, I was taught when I was in choir, it was like ah, a, e, o, u, all the way back, all the way open. I don't know how to describe it. Oh my God. Versus, and then like, oh man, I've been really struggling to communicate this past week. My partner's been like, hey, I want you to watch this anime with me. And I'm like, I am having a difficult time articulating what it is that I don't like about watching anime. And like, I think one of the big things is tied into this. It's the voice acting for the females. Or when a female does a boy voice, sometimes it's the same type of thing. But like, it's the fact that it's so pinched and all the way up here. And it's like, whoa. And like, I hate it. I'm considering getting some noise canceling headphones or something, or like noise reducing headphones to see if it's just like a literally I'm being overstimulated kind of thing, because it just is really annoying to me. Which anime right now, the one that he really wants to watch with me, but I can't because the main voice actor is I was reincarnated as a slime, something like that. Like, his thing lately has been he wants to watch anime that has funny titles or like dumb titles. So this is his most recent one. It's like I was reincarnated as a slime and I wander the dungeon endlessly, I think is the full title. So I get it. Like when, if you're going for dumb fucking titles and you're like, let's enjoy an anime and kind of see what it has to give us with a weirdly translated title. Yeah. I was reincarnated as a slime and now I wander the dungeon endlessly is fitting. I wish modern country music wasn't so right-wing. Bring back the Woody Guthrie types. Yeah. There's lots of performers on Instagram. My mother-in-law sends me videos all the time from country-style musicians on Instagram. Or maybe just the same one or two. I don't know. In Another World with My Smartphone is not totally awful. Season 2 is, though. There's another one where it's the person becomes a vending machine somehow. Yeah, some Japanese media really does get titled like a dissertation or something. I have no idea. I have no idea if it's like in Japanese, it's a more concise title or something. I'm a fan of anime with overly long titles. Yeah. It's like if Panic at the Disco song titles were also anime song titles. Trinket wants to shout out Matt Pless, Pless, to scratch that Woody Guthrie itch. Southern Autism recommends Chris Housman, Housman, gay country artist. Yeah, isekai anime is so weird, like, legitimately. Watching something good like Cowboy Bebop. I just finished watching Attack on Titan recently, and God, I wish I understood what the fuck that anime was trying to say. Also been really craving a rewatch of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Both of those anime completely avoid the vocalization problem that I keep running into. Or rather, they have characters who do it occasionally. In Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Winry occasionally goes like, ah, in that way that like high-pitched anime voices do, and I literally physically can't do anymore. But like that's only a small portion of it. It's not like this is the whole voice. And then I don't think it happens like well, Krista, I guess, does it a little bit at the beginning of Attack on Titan and then stops later. Yes, sir. What do you want? Okay, weirdo. Shakespeare says, I got the deep, sweet baritone and that Kansas plus Southwest drawl. My dad was a military officer and taught me to project over crowds. Been transforming all that dysphoria into all kinds of power femme stage presence now. Fuck yeah. That's awesome. Talking about trans issues and COVID quarantine, you know what helped me get over my non-binary self-doubt was looking at non-flat top surgery, having a serious think about it. I decided that it wasn't for me, though. A more androgynous voice, though, perhaps. Yeah. Looking at other people's results and kind of seriously thinking, like, what would it be like if you looked down at your body and it was like that, My husband started watching Attack on Titan without me, and I feel disrespected. Get on it. Just do it on your own time and catch up. It's worth it. I just finished FMA Brotherhood with my kids. Yeah. It is trying to say that fascism is bad if you benefit or not. I don't know if that is what it is trying to say. I appreciate your thoughts, and it's like the creator himself said that it was a story about like attackers becoming, or sorry, the victim becoming the aggressor. And I think it goes back and forth over and over again, like the victim becoming aggressor, the victim becoming aggressor, like, and like, but it, okay, and then there's like the epilogue, and I'm realizing that there's a lot of you who haven't seen it, and I'm gonna stop talking, but there's the epilogue, and like a lot of things happen in the epilogue that make you go, wait. It seemed like there was a conclusion to this story, but then the epilogue adds to it in a way where you're like, I don't know, man. Whatever. I'll fucking watch some video essays about it, I guess. I have an idea for a pointless argument, subbed or dubbed. I would previously have said, well, maybe I'm coming back around. I was gonna say subbed originally, right? Like I was like, there is a quality to the original Japanese voice acting that is hard to replicate in English. Like there's a style that is hard to capture. And so I generally prefer the subs. Or sorry, excuse me. Yes, subs. I generally prefer the subs. But I also do not often sit there and stare at the thing that I'm watching. So I want to multitask. I want to do other things. So it's hard to watch a sub because I'm busy doing other things, like playing a video game. So recently I've been like, okay, I'll watch some dubbed anime, whatever. Attack on Titan is fine. Not great, but it's fine. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood I never had a problem with. Maybe because I saw it when I was so young and I haven't seen the original, like whatever. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood I think is fine. But now that I'm dealing with this issue where it's like, I think it's specifically the female American dub actors that do this. Like, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be any different if I watched the original Japanese. Maybe it wouldn't be any different. But I'm feeling conflicted, basically. Dubs because I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. True. I do dubbed with subs. Well, that's okay. Well, whatever. It's dubbed with subs of like the subtitles of the English that it's already saying. It's not like yeah, whatever. You goober. Buckaroo Samurai, what an excellent name, says, I saw the TV Glow for the third time last night and find your analysis perfect. Thank you. As a cishet white guy, it's maybe one of my favorite films of all time. Nightmare of a life not lived authentically. Cool, man. Like I'm glad that you enjoyed the movie and that you enjoyed my analysis. I really enjoyed that video. I am probably going to delete it off of this main channel and re-upload it on my alternate channel. I'm going to make it clear that it's a re-upload when I re-upload it, but just cuz I'm no longer trying to shift the identity of this primary channel to video essays. I'll do that on a separate channel when I have time for
Shiloh
it. Oh my
gave
goodness.
Shakes_Bear a tier 3 subscription. Happy birthday, Shakes_Bear. And congrats on finding housing.
Hell yeah. Shiloh, thank you so much for the gifted sub as Shakespeare. Congratulations on the gifted sub. How much is that? Tier 3. Hold on, let me just look at PayPal instead of like trying to guess the amount, because oh my god. Oh, and earlier when we got the dono from Plebalian, that was actually $12 dono. So $12 dono from earlier. And then looks like basically like a $50 dono. Hell yeah, dude. I'm seeing what it was on PayPal after the fees came out, but yeah, oh, 48. Okay, 48. Which brings us to $60. Fuck yeah, thank you guys. So generous. Much appreciated. Has anybody seen Ranma 1/2? I read some of the manga. I haven't watched it. I might actually sit there and watch it, though. On a non-anime note, Vince Gilligan's new sci-fi show Pluribus is amazing. Cool. Yeah, anyway. I know anime isn't the most popular genre, and I can see why some people don't get into it. But I'm also really picky about my shows in general, so I'm trying not to be too, hard on the whole genre. It's just that I really do find that voice acting quite irritating. What is social emotional agnosia? I've never heard of that. Have you seen the anime Planets? Nope. Have you seen Apothecary Diaries? Nope. I actually don't. I'm a big rewatch things that I've already seen person. So I did start watching Over the Garden Wall this week. I've only seen like the first 3 episodes, and then I went to bed and then haven't gotten back into it. But Forrest recommended that I watch that one when we were talking about Adventure Time. I also do need to continue to watch Adventure Time. I was like watching it with my partner while we were hanging out in the living room, but I think I would like to actually advance faster than it would require for us to like only be watching it when we hang out in the living room. Oh my god, I'm so thirsty. It's crazy how immediately I'm so thirsty. Oh my god, dude, I think I might have sleep apnea, which that might be part of why I'm having like dry mouth and dry throat. But I mean, I don't really know why. I'm just speculating. But this morning, and it only happens maybe like once a month or every a little bit longer than a month. But like this morning when I was laying in bed with my partner, I started in my dream that I was having, I started to feel like I couldn't breathe. And then I woke up and was like, like, I didn't actually make a noise or anything, but there was like I have to like open my throat and start breathing again, which was really weird and upsetting. Yes, I do. I am going to watch Star Trek Generations tonight for the podcast tomorrow. And all the Star Trek, the Next Generation movies we're about to do. Which, how many of them are there? There are 5? Star Trek TNG movies. How many? I have sleep apnea. Have your partner watch you as asleep. The not breathing is the biggest thing. Yeah. I don't know if it might be because like it might be because like I don't breathe through my nose very well though. So if my mouth isn't open most of the time for Star Trek The Next Generation movies. So I do wonder if it might just be because I can't really breathe through my nose very well. Sleep study's worth it. Got to get that healthcare. Yeah. I'm basically I'm kind of telling you about my morning today. Today I woke up because I could not breathe and I don't know what it was, right? And it happens very occasionally. But also like I didn't wear anything on my nose last night because when I went to bed, I was like, I can breathe through my nose just fine. I don't have one in here. I recently got a thing because I've been using these things that pull your face open. They're disposable and they just like kind of hold your face open. Been doing those every night, but I'm kind of annoyed that it's like a monthly fee that I'm paying to breathe, right? So I bought a little plastic thing that actually goes inside my nose. And it's kind of like, it almost has a little like septum ring on the outside, but it's like, it goes inside my nose and it goes like this, except less exaggerated than that. So it's like the same kind of thing, but from inside my nose. And I guess I'm just going to have to wear something like that every night, regardless of whether I feel like I can breathe when I go to bed, to see if that is a primary issue. Like, again, if it's not so much that like that I'm having obstructive sleep apnea or something, or rather that like I just can't breathe through my nose, and unless I open my mouth, I just can't breathe, right? I don't know what the issue is, so I'm going to try that. But also, I've been really grappling with this and like, okay, check this out. Like, okay, I'm breathing in and like both of my nostrils are like, okay, so I can't breathe through either side of my face, okay? Right? Like I'm sucking through straws. Like I'm breathing through a straw all the time. And also my nose is crooked AF, right? So I'm kind of wondering if like there might be something all the way up here in my nose. Like it helps a little bit when I have something pulling open my nose way over here. But I might also have an issue structurally up here. So I think I am going to go ahead and get health insurance this year and see about getting at least a septoplasty to fix the clearly like whatever is happening inside my nose, but also to see if my entire nose needs to be reoriented in a non-cosmetic way, Like, does my nose need to be fixed because there's something in the base cartilage that's fucked up? Um, so like a septorhinoplasty if it's medically necessary. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get health insurance. And then I was like, you know what? Let me actually just go ahead and start a list for my younger sibling and myself. Like, what kind of healthcare needs do we have this year? I'm like, okay, realistically, if I'm looking at this, I have a birth control situation I need to figure out because I've been bleeding for like 34 days and I fucking hate it. Um, I need to get vaccinated, flu and COVID, and double check on all my other vaccines and make sure everything's up to date. I want to potentially get a septoplasty, which might require, like, insurance might require me to do something else, like get allergy injections for a couple of months first or something. I don't fucking know. Or like, I don't know, is the sleep could the sleep study have to come as part of my diagnosis for the septoplasty? I don't fucking know. But I'm thinking maybe I'll do a septoplasty. And then if like, a few months after that has healed, if I still feel like I can't breathe at night, then maybe a sleep study. And if I have to get a CPAP, I also probably should realistically get my POTS and EDS diagnosed. Whatever, just annual fucking blood work stuff too. So like, yeah, I think that getting health insurance will probably be worth it. Gayfesh is considering Generations to be part of Star Trek TNG movies. So that's what I'm basing that off of. YouTube chat. Had a lot of trouble with breathing. Turbinate reduction surgery was a big relief for me. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I'll look it up later. I had a deviated septum correction with turbinate reduction years ago, and it made a big difference in my sinuses. Good. Because it's like long-term satisfaction rates that are, that's like something that bugs me. Like, are there, because I know that lots of people have short-term relief, but I don't know if it stays long-term. And it seems like, okay, there's some variation in that, but have your partner massage and squeeze your forehead and sinus areas. If that causes you to sneeze, you may have blocked sinuses. Okay, interesting. Like the sinus parts of your forehead. Interesting. I live in California, so I just had to check a box online that said I am high risk to get the COVID vaccine, you mean? Yeah. And like basically everyone is high risk. Yeah. I don't exercise enough. Boom, you're high risk. Like, okay. Could that be why I have one nostril that's always runny and cloggy? Yeah, maybe. I do also know that with I follow, not really follow, I guess I just see a lot of posts from her, but I see posts from this woman with POTS who and like dysautonomia who was like she got a procedure done to basically like cauterize certain parts of the inside of her nose because it's overactive, snotty, like runny all the time. Because it's dysautonomia, like that means that your autonomic nervous system fucks up and it fucks up in a lot of little ways usually. And one of those ways is like too much mucus production in the nose, which can cause postnasal drip and irritation in the throat, which might be something that I deal with. So I know, if it's like 50 degrees outside, my nose starts dripping already. And I'm like, can you not please? So that, if you don't have a deviated septum, or maybe on top of having a deviated septum, if it's also runny and cloggy, because my nose feels clogged a lot of the time, but it doesn't feel runny a lot of the time. It feels like dry. Like I'm like, I feel like I can't breathe, but also I feel like if I blew my nose, like, let's try it. Okay. Right now I feel like I cannot breathe. Okay. I'm struggling to breathe through my nose. So let's try this out. I'm not going to expose you to the sound, I guess. Well, I don't know. Maybe the sound is part of it. Let's find out. Okay. Is anything going to come out of here? It's completely dry in there. Like nothing moved. There's no, I guess there was a little bit of movement on this side, but like, there's no like liquid snot in my nose. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. Anyway, I just suffer all the time in a lot of small ways. This is what my disability is like, by the way. Like, I think I seem pretty healthy to people, and like I stand during streams and I'm like pretty animated for the couple hours that you can see me. Um, but like my life just sucks in a lot of really small ways like that because of my disability. Uh, like I can't breathe through my nose. I sometimes wake up like unable to breathe for some reason. Like I bruise super easy. I have a super gnarly bruise. I can't. Can you see that gnarly bruise? It was much worse before, but I dropped a box and like caught it when I was helping my buddy move into his place. I have a big fuck off bruise. Like bruise easily. Um, does a nasal saline rinse have any effect? Do you mean like one of these like things where you let it go through your face like that? I did a couple of those when I was getting over COVID in October last year. But I was only kind of doing it to get rid of my inflammation and stuff because I still sounded really clogged up afterwards. Like the congestion lasted for several weeks after the initial COVID infection had kind of cleared, which was obnoxious. So that helped that situation at least. I don't know. Maybe I'll get another neti pot and try it again sometime and see if it helps. Bloody Hatter says, my life, sinuses swollen and clogged and nostrils dry. Doctor says allergies. Then I find out I'm allergic to allergy meds. Oh no, there's so many different allergy meds though. There's got to be something. But also, if my doctor, if I tell a doctor that I'm having this issue and they say, oh, it's just allergies, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. Now I need to be screened for MCAS because I don't actually think, because this is all year, right? It happens in the depths of winter. Like it'll be fucking January, like early January in Kansas, where you like, that's like the one time of year where there's nothing going on. Maybe cedar. Does cedar over the winter? Wait. When is cedar allergy worst in Kansas? Not cancer. Okay, no. Okay, so if I guess the cedar allergy could have been hitting me in the winter. But it's like, do I just have mild allergies to every single thing all throughout the entire year? I don't know, man. There's neti pots and some pharmacies also sell individual pressurized cans for the same thing. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know use okay. PSA, everybody. If you're going to use a neti pot, use distilled water and nothing else. Distilled water and nothing else. I repeat, use distilled water and nothing else. Obviously, they give you a little mixture to like mix in with the water, but do not ever use any other water except distilled water to put in your nose. Lux doing one of my ghost blows. Yeah, like I don't even bother. I'm like, I can tell it's dry in there. I'm gonna blow my nose. Nothing's gonna happen. My dad had a deviated septum surgery 20 years ago, and other than an increase in sinus infections he was already prone to, it's been a very positive thing. Okay, yeah. I found a plan on the marketplace. Like, if my income prediction was accurate for next year, then it's like $550 a month for like a zero deductible plan, though. And so I'm like, okay, that would be worth it. If I pay like $550 a month and I get to have septoplasty surgery, which will cost like at least several $1,000s, if not like more than that, especially if it ends up turning into something more structural where they're fixing something way the fuck up here, then yeah, it could be upwards of $10,000. And like, given everything else that we need this year, and like just therapy, you know, like if I just got my younger sibling therapy, going from more than $100 per session to like $15 per session would be huge savings. And like, probably if you can add all of that, that's kind of what I'm just doing is like, I need to do the math on like how much would each appointment cost. If we probably won't qualify for sliding scale on any cash prices. So it's going to be like, compare the full cash price for all of these services over the course of the year to what I would be paying in premiums and try to see if that makes sense. See if that shakes out, you know? If I go through a surgery this year, then it will definitely be worth it. I love to blow my nose in the shower. It's the best. Yeah, at the end of a nice hot shower, sometimes it can be really good. If your insurance company works with Teladoc, then therapy would be free. Um, sure. I was not seeing that on the particular plan that I was looking at, but I don't know. Still, $15 is not bad. Like, especially if you have somebody who's like should be going to therapy once a week, which I think for a young person with trauma, you know, for the first time getting into therapy for real, like I think that once a week is like good. I'm in Kansas too. Allergic to everything. Cedar is the worst for me. I have allergy issues year round. Spring seems worst when the fields and pastures are burned to get rid of the underbrush and cedar. Oof. What company was it? I don't remember. I didn't buy it. I was just like comparing plans and stuff. But I'll be on the lookout for the Teladoc phrase. Have you had a bad experience with your local community mental health center? No, it's just that I don't think that the sliding scale is going to really help us. So I'm basically looking at like, because my partner makes a decent amount of money and like he might actually be pursuing a promotion, which would make him even more money. And I just got a second 1.5 more job. I don't know. I just got hired on to do even more work with Jimmy. So I'm making even more money. Like we do not qualify for anything that requires a sliding scale, probably. So that's my thing is like I'm comparing the cost of like full cost services versus having insurance. Oh, and like I don't live in Kansas anymore, to be clear. I moved to Oregon. I had a great experience with the community mental health center when I was in Lawrence. Like, that was great. Did I say Lawrence? I I did go to Lawrence, Kansas right before we left, but I meant to say Kansas. I have a lot of friends who live in Lawrence. You can ask for sliding scale and see what happens. I mean, I've already looked. Like I already know that I make too much money. So like there's no reason for me to go looking if I already know that. I guess I looked at one like earlier this year and was like, okay, so just getting a sense for the range of stuff. Um, yeah, but we definitely have too high of income. Too much. Are you in Lawrence? Oh, that's awesome. Genuinely such a beautiful town. I loved it there. It was so, so, so gorgeous and like really great people. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't go there often enough to have too many bad experiences, but I know that when you are around like a lot of college students, like certain parts of the town, I had friends who were like, yeah, just avoid driving in this part of town because there's way too many college students there. Um, so yeah, I'm like, oh, I got to take like an alternate route or whatever. But yeah, it was definitely one of the cooler places in Kansas. Kansas City has lots of really cool places too. Like, to be clear. But that's kind of it. It's like Kansas City and Lawrence, and like there's Topeka and Wichita, which are both big cities, I guess. But they're like, I don't see them as like as culturally interesting as like the main college town of a state. I don't know. So what's the consequences of the government being shut down? What was it shut down for? Okay, so the reason the government was shut down was because in the budget that was written, the Republicans wanted to get rid of all the subsidies for the healthcare marketplace. So, you know, when you go on the Obamacare healthcare marketplace website, the Affordable Care Act website, and you can sign up for health insurance, which maybe you've never had to do because you have a job and your job pays for your health insurance, right? But if you don't have that, you can pay for marketplace health insurance. Currently, under the ACA, or up until just now, basically, there's been a subsidy for if you are poor that the government will give some money to the insurance companies in the same way that your employer would, like sometimes you may pay for half of your health insurance and your employer pays for the other half, kind of like that. The government was paying for part of people's health insurance premiums, which is what you pay every month in order to have health insurance. So the Republicans removed the subsidy, or basically like it's time for them to be renewed. Every time a law passes, there's usually like an expiration, or it sort of depends. If a budget, for example, like how are we spending money on things in the government? They're like, okay, for 5 years we're gonna put this much money toward this, and then when it gets close to the end of that 5 years, there might be motion to reinstate that same policy for another 5 years, or whatever. So that's kind of what's happening with the ACA subsidies. Is we're reaching a point where we need to revisit how much we're spending on that and either commit to doing another 5 years or however many years and move forward. But the budget basically took out all those subsidies so that people would have to pay the full amount, basically, of what the health insurance costs. So for me, I was looking at a plan earlier. Actually, I think the same. No, hold on, not the same plan. One plan that I was looking at earlier this year and then about a month ago or within the past month was $117 if I had signed up for it like 5 months ago. But rolling into the new year, that same plan would be like $350 or maybe $400. It might have even been more than that. And that was for like a silver plan. There's like bronze, silver, gold. So it's for a silver plan. Could have either been $117 or $200 or $300 more than that. So as a result, a lot of people who currently have health insurance are not going to be able to continue to afford it. So they're going to drop out of the health insurance marketplace. They're going to stop having health insurance, which is going to cause the health insurance companies to further raise the cost of the health insurance. Because the way that insurance works is a company is, let's say they have 100 people buying insurance from them every month. So they kind of count on having maybe like 95 people who are pretty much just healthy. And then the 5 people who do need actually to have stuff covered, like maybe they got in a car accident or they have a chronic health condition or something, that can be like a small enough percentage that the company is making money off of the insurance premiums from the 95 people still. So if 15 people drop out of it, but not the 5 who need the health insurance, so now you're down to 85 total people, and 5 of them need like you need to pay a good amount more than what they pay in order to cover their services. Then you only have 80 people contributing to the total pool. And then in order for the insurance company to make the same amount of money, they will raise the price for the 85 people who are left so that they're making money still. So that's why the cost of insurance is about to fucking skyrocket. And, oh, by the way, the government reopened without them changing that part of the budget. So the budget just got passed, and the healthcare subsidies are just gone now. And the Republicans said, we promise we'll vote on it later. We promise we'll vote on it and approve some kind of subsidy later. That's what they said, we'll do it. They're not going to do it. They won't have the votes. It's just not going to happen. So they just reopened the country without any guarantees. And so, yeah, hundreds of thousands of people potentially are going to no longer have health insurance. But I'm considering it because I need services, like I think that really I should try hard to hit this year the septoplasty and the sleep study. Welcome to C-SPAN, I guess. Yeah, me explaining politics to you. I'm good at it. It's unfortunate. I know they pinky promised. They said they would. Isn't the budget also gutting pre-existing conditions protections? I don't think that that's within the scope of the budget, but I don't actually know. From cursory research, Pacific Source, HealthNet of Oregon, MODA, and Regents Blue Cross all utilize Teladoc. Okay. Also, the subsidies aren't going away completely, but the enhanced subsidies are. Instead of being eligible for potentially 100% premium subsidy, now it's like 94%. Okay. So it's just raising the cost enough to box people out of it. Health insurance is one of my special interests. Hey, that's great. I'm glad that somebody, like, there was a video that Brian David Gilbert made a while ago. Brian David Gilbert made a video, and I would love for you to tell me, Southern Autism, if it's accurate. I don't know if you've already seen it or not, but it's called A Terrible Guide to the Terrible Terminology of U.S. Health Insurance. And it has 3 million views right now. God damn it, I love Brian David Gilbert. Didn't Schumer not actually vote to reopen? But just enough Dems other than him did? I don't know. It's so hard to fucking keep track of any of this shit. I'm back at a point where I'm watching Jon Stewart and The Daily Show, and like I actually fucking watched a Humanist Report video the other day. I don't know what's wrong with me. Why am I getting back into this? It does kind of it's kind of good for my jobs, my multiple jobs, for me to know what's going on with politics, but I fucking hate it. Oh, I'm gonna have to get some new water soon, but I'll wait. By the way, even as somebody who was suffering the SNAP benefits running out, I still hate that the Dems caved. Yeah. I'm not on SNAP, but even if I had been, I would be like, I have the benefit of being in a state where they were like, we moved state funds around to make sure that SNAP got funded as soon as the first federal judge said, hey, fuckers, you have to let the funds disperse the way that they're supposed to. So I'm lucky. I mean, not lucky, I guess. Like, I put a lot of fucking effort and energy and money into moving up here. But, yeah, Schumer did vote no, but my gut says that it was mostly an attempt to save face. Oh, yeah, it's because he's up for re-election. You'll note that the Democrats who voted to reopen the government are almost universally not up for re-election, so they don't, or they're choosing not to, so they don't have to worry about it. Like, they've reached their term limits or whatever. Yeah, so Schumer didn't vote to reopen, but having the 8 Dems, including the whip. What is the whip? Oh my god. Crossing the line does not reflect well on his leadership. Fair. Schumer had to have organized the defectors. They're all safe seats for like 5 years. Oh, okay. It's that they're not up for re-election anytime soon. It's not that they're necessarily reaching their term limits or going to retire. Please no primary. DNC. True. The whip's job is supposed to be to make sure they have the votes for what they want to do, and the whip was one of the 8. Oh, okay, rough. Okay, I got you. I think it's raining. I fucking love it here. I'm like, rain, babe. I love it. It's so pretty. Yeah, I don't actually know if there are. What are current term limits? Current term limits for National Congress. Okay, yeah, I guess so. There aren't term limits at the national level. Is it only local? U.S. senators may be reelected indefinitely. Damn. Welcome to the PNW. It's damp. I know. I might actually need to get, I think I might need to get a Dehumidifier. Let me write that down somewhere because I don't have that written down anywhere yet. Dehumidifier. Dehumidifier. Just dehumid. Dehumid is what I typed. Dehumid. Local term limits depend on municipality. Yeah. Term limits for Missouri state level Congress. Man, I haven't paid attention to any of this in a long time. That's how we got McConnell for so long. No term limits. True. Your acoustic will love you for the dehumidifier. I'm sure. It's not too bad. It's usually not crazy out of tune or anything. Schumer's been in Congress since Reagan, which is crazy. Oh my god. Consider getting an air purifier too. Has really helped for me. Yeah, I would love to. I really am gonna, if I get an air purifier, it's gonna be like an insanely high quality one. What I do currently is I just buy the highest quality furnace filter that I can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and I stick it to the back of a box fan. And occasionally we'll just purify the air. Usually if we have guests, I'll like set up the air purifier along with a swamp cooler of hypochlorous acid. Humidity can cause fret sprout or warping of the wood. Okay, good to know. I wrote it down. I have a list of shit that I need to get. I'm about to get my first paycheck from like a full month of production. My paycheck last month was fat, and my paycheck this month is going to be even fatter. So sometime next week, I'll have a good idea what an incredibly busy month at the line looks like as far as financially. Hey, Southern Autism says, actually, tell you what, Lux, you've reminded me of the need for a good video about ACA health plans and such. I've got a script already sketched in my notebook. I'll work on it. Yeah, I have questions. Like the plan that I was looking at is like a really high premium plan, but like a really, like it's a high premium plan and it says 0 deductible. And I'm like, does that mean that I am literally not going to have any services that I have to pay for before the insurance kicks in? And then, like, I'll only have whatever the insurance explicitly doesn't cover. So, like, if I get a septoplasty, would it be covered, like, except for the 30% that I would have to pay? So I need to figure that out. Like, if I got a $10,000 septoplasty surgery, would I have to pay, like, $3,000 of that? Because, okay, if I have to pay $3,000, is it worth it to get that done this year? Or should I just wait until Oregon has universal health care in like 5 years? Like, is it worth it to get all of these things done this year? Like, I definitely need to be vaccinated, but if it's $200 cash price for the COVID vaccine versus $500 a month for health insurance, then like, I'll get the COVID vaccine once for sure. Pay attention to 2 things, the out-of-pocket max and the co-insurance percentage. Okay, so the out-of-pocket max. Does that mean that, like, so my out-of-pocket maximum, even if, so, like, let's say the surgery costs $10,000 and my co-insurance for that procedure is 30%. If my out-of-pocket maximum is $2,000, for example, would I, even though that's less than the 30% co-insurance, I would only have to pay the $2,000? If that's my out-of-pocket maximum for the year? I hate this whole system. So few things make me feel like I wish I was a violent person than the fucking health insurance scam. Like, that's crazy. Hi, Cliff. How's it going? Okay, you would pay 30% of the cost up to $2,000. Okay. I'm going to double check what the deductible and the out-of-pocket maximum are on that particular plan, because that might be hella worth it. If I can get some really expensive shit done and out of my fucking way this year. Cool. All right, I'll think about it. So stupid. Oh my god, we're at 108 likes. Should we finally talk about fucking Epsteen? Does anybody actually care about this? I don't really know that I have a lot of commentary to add to it. Like, okay, Epsteen is dead. Is anybody actually convinced of the blowjob thing, or do you think that that was just a joke? Because, like, allegedly, Trump gave Bill Clinton a blowjob, allegedly, according to this email leak. And so I don't know. I don't know. What do people think about it? What is PTC? Preventative care? I don't know what that means. Or ACV, for that matter. I don't know what any of these fucking things mean. It was a joke and true in our hearts. It sounds like a joke. I don't care if it's true. Deductibles on health insurance is pure evil. They make sense for property insurance as it's meant to avoid overuse for small damages, but our bodies are not property. Our health concerns are not damages. It's an inherently cruel financial hurdle. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, silver is the best plan if you're getting any premium tax credit at all. Look for a plan that shows 94. Okay, what's ACV though? Came back from getting food to hear the line, gave him a blowjob, allegedly. Allegedly. I think it's probably made up, but I can also see Trump going along with it because of peer pressure. I mean, if people are drugged out enough, then, like, maybe, I don't even, like, maybe it's like one of those things where people involved don't even directly remember doing it, you know? Like, I don't know what kind of crazy stuff happens at sex parties. I've never been to a sex party. Excuse me, what? This is my first time hearing of this blowjob. There was a release this week of, like, Epsteen emails and shit, and one of them alludes to Trump giving a blowjob to, quote, Bubba, and Bubba is Bill Clinton. So people are saying it sounds like a joke. It isn't going to move the needle anyway. Of course it's not going to move the needle anyway. It seems maybe like derisively referring to someone sucking up to someone else as blowing them, maybe. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's so weird to have stuff like this happen and be like, it doesn't matter though. Like, the woman, Virginia, who, you know, they were like, basically, Trump spent a lot of time with her, but why hasn't his name come up in any of these abuse allegations and things? So it's just further confirmation that Trump has been seemingly doing things that he should not have been doing, and people who already fucking hated him are not going to hate him any more or less because of this, and people who love him are not going to love him any more or less because of this. It's, you know, if anything else hasn't moved them on it, I don't think this, maybe for like a grand total of 10 people, this might be the thing where they go, uh-oh, he was there with Virginia, whatever. But I think the Republicans are trying to spin this as like completely fabricated by Democrats. Most sex play kink parties are drug-free. I have produced multiple T for T intimate events, drug-free, safety prioritized, consent culture. Well, Shakespeare, I mean, yeah. So for I honestly think, I wonder if this is like a class distinction. Like, if the kind of sex parties that super rich people have are like way less drug safe and like consent oriented. So it's like your sex parties are, you're having your low class sex parties where you're actually giving a shit about consent. What does T for T stand for? It's trans for trans. It's when trans people only date other trans people, or like only have sex with other trans people, or only have friends with other trans people. Make friends. I'm kind of like, well, all of this is neat, but will it have any meaningful impact? True. Yeah, exactly. There's claims of fabrication and Megyn Kelly saying, "Oh, it's not that bad because a 5-year-old isn't as bad as a actually what she said is there's a difference between a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, I guess if you want to fuck 15-year-olds, you're not a pedophile, like is the argument that she was making. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's making the a febophile, not pedophile argument. It's like, wow, are you serious? Like, do you want your 15-year-old daughter in that situation? I don't think so. Yeah, I bet if it's your 15-year-old daughter, all of a sudden you're going to be like, my little girl, my little girl, my little girl. Like, we fucking can tell. A 15-year-old is not like a young woman. That is a child. And I say that with like full awareness that I thought that I was grown when I was 15. And I was mature in some ways for my age, but I was also deeply fucking traumatized. And there's a reason why I was the way that I was. And things that happened to that child are bad. Like, you know, that's wait, there's a different kind of subsidy that addresses your out-of-pocket costs? Oh my God, there's a whole angle of health insurance that I had no idea about. I didn't realize that a subsidy was going to change your out-of-pocket costs. I thought the subsidies were only changing like the premiums. Hmm. And this was, oh, okay. And Megyn Kelly was defending Epsteen when she said that 15-year-old's different than a 5-year-old. Like, we know she's preparing to be like, yeah, maybe Trump did it, but like, did he actually know? And really, is it that bad? And yeah, okay, yeah. Without the cost reduction subsidy, that plan doesn't have any out-of-pocket max, and you're paying for 30% of everything forever. That's why you pick a silver plan. I was looking at a gold plan with zero deductible. Insanely high numbers. Okay, I don't understand any of this. All a setup to sanitize it if Trump gets caught in anything. Yeah, to be like, well, whatever. She was 13. That's not that bad. It's not as bad as if she was 8. Like, okay, well, it's still bad. Like, I don't actually know if there is such a thing as more or less bad when it comes to assaulting minors, but okay. The out-of-pocket max is where it gets you. Okay. I guess yeah, I'll double check on that. I'll double check on that health insurance marketplace stuff. 15, yeah, they think 15 is too young to read The Fault in Our Stars or any LGBTQ authors or violent movies, but it's old enough that being essayed isn't a big deal. Cognitive dissonance at its finest. Yeah, I think I tried to comment on something on Facebook and it was like, oh, you're not in this group, even though it showed up in your timeline. And I'm like, okay. But somebody was like saying that the Republicans are projecting, you know, what everything that they want to do, they're doing to somebody else. So, and then this person twisted it around and was like, oh, you mean like how certain people are trying to groom minors and then they accuse Republicans of pedophilia? And I'm like, oh, honey, it's actually more like this one group advocates for child marriage laws while accusing other people of being groomers. Like, I don't think I got to post the comment, though. I was bummed out. Countdown clock for the Western culture is knowing 15 is an okay age rhetoric. I think we've already kind of been here. Like, people have been saying, and it starts out fringe in the manosphere, them being like, well, being roughly 15 and 16 is like when you're like at your sexual peak. And it's like, no, it's fucking not. Your body isn't developed. It's not finished growing. You're going to shove a human being out of your undeveloped pelvis. Cool. That's part of why the mortality rate for mothers used to be so high, is because they were having babies well before the age at which they were finished developing, and they should not be having babies that young. Like, obviously a 10-year-old shouldn't be giving birth. They're not grown enough. But also a 15-year-old shouldn't be giving birth. They're not grown enough. Shakespeare says, we have a code of cisconduct, all-inclusive events, even host educational workshops. Our last one was navigating life, love, and relationships when you or someone you love is positive. I assume that means HIV positive. People building emotional and meaningful connections, becoming more confident in their own body presence and needs. These are important spaces. I was thinking about, maybe like becoming a member of a local group that kind of can cover some of those things. We were talking about maker spaces, and I did find a maker space that I would like to check out, because they have not only the maker space for like carpentry and stuff, but they also have meetings for people who do fiber arts. So like my crochet and stuff, just being able to hang out with people who have a similar thing in mind, and then like doing a maker space is kind of inherently a sort of communist or socialist thing. So I'm imagining that lots of people who go there will have like-minded politics. Trinket says, a lot of the libertarian types have been checking the water on assaulting children since Trump took office. It's been super gross in the wilds of Threads. Dear God, I'm not on Threads. It's bad enough on Facebook and Blue Sky. Like, oh God. Okay, my throat is so dry. I'm gonna get more water. I'm gonna take my little bathroom break and my rest for the midstream break. Let me find something pleasant for you to listen to, and I'll be back in a minute. Oh, hold on. Where am I? This? We're gonna start with swimming lessons. I love this song. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, we're back. It's time for more show. Makerspaces are dope as hell. Also, there's a library of things in memory of a local trans musician who passed last year. That's a great, yeah, it's a great way of honoring their memory. We do have a library of things at our actual library. So I don't know if that's like a thing that's necessary to like invest in the community if there's already something that exists, but it could be good. Oh my god, why? Buckaroo says, I work in security and threat. By the way, Buckaroo Samurai, are you are you a fan of Chuck Tingle's? Every time I'm hearing you or seeing your name Buckaroo, I'm like reminded of Chuck Tingle, who I just see his posts on Facebook sometimes. Like I don't think I follow him on purpose. Anyway, hi Mr. Baby. Oh, side note, yeah, there is something in the treasure chest. And we're about $40 away. If we get $40 in the next like hour or so, I'll open the treasure chest, which is definitely not a mimic. Okay. But anyway, Buckaroo says, I work in security and threat analysis. I attended a webinar on sex trafficking and predators. The fascist tinge to the webinar was scary. I brought up if anything is being done about child brides. Crickets. Oof. Yeah, that's crazy. It's very possible that our lifespans doubling has a lot to do with not forcing people into work or breeding at 14. That's part of it. So it's good to look at the, what is it? It's the median age rather than the average age of people from the past. Because people from the past, you know, if you include all the number of children who died, then yeah, the average lifespan is only like 30 years old. But if you just look at what the, like a person who survives childhood, what their lifespan typically looks like, then you get a much higher, I don't remember which one it is, if it's median or what the actual number is that you're supposed to look at. But if you basically just take out all the children or the babies who died in childbirth or whatever, So yeah, surely like the average age rises with medical advancements that help children survive childhood and childbirth and help people who give birth survive giving birth. Yeah, for sure. Oh my god, there's so much hair falling out of my head and it freaks me out. You ever have one of those where you're like, oh my god, I'm losing so much of my hair? And that stresses you out, which probably makes you lose more hair. Domestic says Trump's response to Howard Stern's question on his age limit for sex with girls was 12-year-olds. In other words, 11-year-olds and younger are Trump's hard no. Did he really say that on the radio? I'm assuming that must have been in the 80s or something. A very specifically trans and queer-oriented community resource. Our community is very self-reliant. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Why do you think I'm bald now? Yeah. I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. I am actually a little bit not sure what to do with my hairline right now because, like, okay, I'm actually realizing I think that this side is like lower, like the spot where I have my short hair and long hair. I think on the left side, it's actually a little bit lower. So, what I'm running into is that, and like I think my hairlines actually are different. Like this one is a little bit, oh no, if you pull all of this up, it does jut back quite a bit. And this one does too. But I just feel like my hair looks better on this side with whatever's going on with my hairline and the angles and stuff over here. Like I just feel like this looks nicer. And then when I do this, I feel like whatever is wrong with my hairline over here, I feel like it looks bad. And I don't know why that is. Do you see what I'm seeing? Does what I'm saying make sense at all? Like my hairline is uneven, right? Is there more forehead on this side? That's annoying. I don't even know if there's anything I can do to change that. Ugh, anyway. Trump fuzzy logic is alleging that, listen, I'm going to say the word allegedly a lot. Donald Trump 2006 said no age limit, just not 12-year-olds. Okay. Damn. Actually, all he said was that he didn't want to get caught with a 12-year-old. Oof. Royale, are you for real? Sweet 16 to 18 is a gray zone for me. Listen, the only possible reason there's a gray zone is like if two people like go to high school together and they start dating and there's a 2-year difference and then like one of them turns 18, those laws are to protect those kids from being accused of abuse when they're just dating someone who is in their cohort, their own age group, within a certain limit, right? If you're like above that, whatever that limit is, and it's only a little bit of wiggle room, like 19, maybe 20 years old, rarely 20 years old, like that's you're kind of getting outside the range of acceptability at that point. If you're anywhere older than that, then like no, hard stop, 18. Not complicated. I wouldn't even want to date an 18-year-old. I wouldn't want to have sex with or date an 18-year-old. What do I have in common with you? Like, I am 31. I don't have that much in common. I mean, it's like I do well enough trying to find things in common with the teenager who lives with me, who I am raising. Listen, we play just enough of the same video games that we can relate to one another. And we're both queer, so we've got certain queer things that we can relate to one another, right? But like, as far as dating, like, no. Oh my God, are you for real? No. Is there a good way to deal with someone who is bullying / harassing you for being trans? There are so many different context-dependent factors. It is almost impossible for me to give you any blanket advice. Fuzzy Logic says the context was that Stern asked Trump if he could still, quote, bang 24-year-olds. Trump said he would have no problem. Then the producer, Robin Quivers, asked him if he had an age limit, and his reply was as above, Just nobody under the age of 12, I guess. Cool. Great. Love that. I've been considering getting back on using minoxidil again on my face. I keep forgetting. That's maybe another thing I need to write down. Like, just get some more fucking minoxidil and start using it on a regular basis as just part of my routine. Buckaroo Samurai, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, gifted subs. That's very kind of you. I'm 42 and I find 30-year-old people incomprehensible at times. Yeah, no kidding. Not even considering, like... But yes, Rogaine. I've never been on finasteride. I don't know if I would want to be on a DHT blocker, actually. I haven't looked at that before. But... yeah, you might still need finasteride on HRT. It depends. Maybe. Trinket says, what do I have in common with an 18-year-old? We breathe oxygen, we consume nutrients. I don't think of any of this as good fuel for conversation. Yeah, you're not going to get very far with that. Bold of you to assume Trump wouldn't admit that in the 90s or 2000s. Yeah, I guess. I didn't think it was like Trump wouldn't admit it in that context. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys. Thank you so much for more gifted subs. I don't usually include those. They don't show up as chat revenue on super chats. And so I guess I usually don't count those toward the donation goal, but I feel like I should because that's like $50. It just sucks because I don't receive any of that money until like next month. Like I'll get that around Christmas time. And YouTube will take 30% of it, which sucks. So I usually don't count it towards my like daily goal, but thank you so much. I feel like we should. I'll take a vote. Do we want to press 1 if we want to count those toward our daily goal for today, which will push us over and make us open the treasure chest? Or should we hold out? Should we keep our legs closed and hold out until the third date? I'm just being a dork. But damn, thank you so much. My high school sweetheart is my current partner. We both transitioned. We got so much crap back in high school for our age difference. It was a 3-year difference. We're in our 30s now. Yeah, my partner and I have a similar kind of age gap. We think, like we've talked about it in the modern day, I think our age gap would be like, no, like if it was our kid, we would not be like, yeah, go ahead and date that 19-year-old, you know? But we're good, you know, for the most part in that regard. Like nobody's upset about the age gap at the beginning of our relationship. And now we're both in our 30s, so whatever, you know. Psychoplebalian, why? Why are you the way that you are? I'm really like not cool with it, bro. I don't know why your attitude towards this is like, oh, Lux gets a little bit annoyed at me sometimes. Like, no, it's like pretty much every time really annoying and uncool.
Thefazon Logic has donated $40. Open the chest, smile.
Thank you. You've broken my indecision. There's no possible way to continue to be indecisive over this. Number go up. Burr. Thank you very much, Fuzzy Logic, for your double donation. That is so generous. So very generous. Okay. Let me bring my chat back. Come back, chat. I have to reduce chat to make that happen. Okay. Okay. We're opening the treasure chest, which is definitely not a mimic, and is definitely not communicating with me in some strange way. Someone keeps leaving stuff in here, though. Oh. What do you want? I'll show you to the stream next. Next, after we open the chest, I'll open up the kitty cat. And by that, I mean I'll pick him up and put him in the air and not open him up. I was thinking open up the chest. And I said open up the kitty cat. But that's a crazy thing to say. Anyway. Okay, what's in here this time? Oh, okay. It's the tarot deck that likes me and not the tarot deck that doesn't like me. Okay. Definitely. Gonna just place you gently over here. Pat, pat, pat. Pat, pat, pat. Good treasure chest. Good treasure chest. Previously, okay, is it? Yeah, this is my deck. Okay. Anyway, so this is my tarot deck that likes me instead of the tarot deck that hates me, which previously made its way into the treasure chest. So let's give a one card reading, shall we? Just real quick for funsies, and then I'll pick up the boy and I'll show him off. You'll get a little double. You'll get a double dose of. I'm not being held hostage by this treasure chest or anything. Not at all. Nothing weird is happening. Yes. Woo! Okay, I'm dropping cards. Oh no, alright. From the non-hater deck, let's go. Yeah, seriously. My other deck is such a bitch. Such a hater. Hater-ass bitch. Which, like, I guess I shouldn't criticize. I am also a hater-ass bitch. I was just telling my partner, like, I am a hater, but I'm not a hater the way that other people seem to be a hater. I don't believe in astrology and tarot. Yeah, me neither, but it is fun. Let's do a little one card. I don't know who this is for today, but if you feel spoken to by this card, then that's good. Okay. This is the 6 of coins, and I drew it upside down. So this is what the card looks like. I love this deck so much. It's so queer-coded. Anyway, pretty. The 6 of coins. I drew it in this position. What does my little thingy-mabobber say? I forget what all the cards mean. Okay. This card warns of empty charity masquerading as kindness. Your generosity is motivated by an expectation of gratitude, which it does not often yield. As a result, you find yourself retreating into a miserly place. You feel like your goodwill and generosity have been wasted. You'd like your words to yield treasures, but everything you say rings like the hollow croak of a toad. That's what it says in here. So somebody out there, you're giving and you're expecting something back instead of giving freely. And that expectation is what's biting you in the ass. All right. Yeah, I agree. I think if you treat tarot like a form of meditation and it helps you clarify your intentions and stuff, then it's a really useful tool. And that's pretty much it. And I like that it's kooky and spooky a little bit. Like, it makes me feel good. I'm being personally attacked. See? It's for somebody out there. Where should I put this now? I think this is too heavy to go on any of these shelves because, like, one side of them is in the stud, but the other side is not. So I don't actually think that I should add any weight to this at all. I'm just gonna... It's too bad this is not, like, in frame somewhere. I can't, like, stick it in my bosom. That would hurt. Did you know that there are now... Yeah. That's what we were talking about earlier, Spider-Man. Apparently people mostly think that it was a joke because it was said by Epstein's brother, and also that, like, the idea of, like, fluffing someone or sucking them off is a way of, like, alluding to them, like, sucking up to someone. Like, oh, you're sucking his dick. You know, it's like, oh, you're sucking up to him. So it could have been a joke or something like that, rather than it being, like, direct, a sex thing happened. I'm really disappointed in how eager liberals are to be homophobic. That's kind of one of my main takeaways from this whole experience. Does that make sense? That's something Forrest would do. Wait, what would Forrest do? I actually wonder if Forrest would think, like, Like, does he have any trauma about being raised pagan? Like, probably not trauma exactly, but does he find it off-putting or annoying in his adulthood if like people are using it in a secular way? I don't know. Open the cat. You're right. Hi, baby. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. I'm going to pick you up now. Yes. Come here, Mr. Baby. Oh, yes. Mr. Baby. Hello, baby. Oh my god. Can you get your claw out of my skin? Please. Your claw. Is it? Thank you. Oh my god, that hurts so bad. Why do you have daggers? He has daggers for claws. Mm-hmm. You good boy? You good boy? No. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good boy. Oh, I meant Forrest would open the cat. Fans of his will know the dissect the boy meme. Oh no. Dissect the boy. Also, he's anti-cat. Oh no. Aw, that's a bummer. You're such a good baby. Good boy. Yeah. Okay, I put you down now. Okay, I put you down now. He's so tolerant. If you don't have bite and claw marks, your cat hates you. I mean, he doesn't really play. He's not like a big I'm gonna play with you person, but he does get up in my lap and I have little tiny, I don't know if they're visible on camera, but like I have lots of little tiny red dots from his little claws. But yes. Thank you again, everybody who donated today. I appreciate the donations through YouTube as well. I just want to be clear. Thank you so much for donating through YouTube. It sucks that YouTube takes so much of your money. I wish there was a way for me to fix that, but there isn't, and it just bums me out that people people donate through YouTube and they don't realize. But yeah, my cat is very good at soft paws. He's not. Also, what is it with black cats? I've noticed that black cats seem to have a really long quick, like the nerve and blood vessels that go down into their nails. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera. I should do it over here. But like, so of they have their claws, you know, and there's like the part that is like underneath and comes up out here. And for a lot of cats, it stops, you know, like here. Obviously, this is scaled way up. Imagine this is much smaller because this is just the nail part of the cat, just the claw part. So it might come up all the way to here, so you can cut off a pretty good amount there. Oh, hey, look at that. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Notifications. Join my Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon. Anyway, but his goes almost all the way to the tip. So you can, if you get the little nails, you can only cut off like the very, very, very like edge of it. So mostly what you're doing is just blunting it or like creating a bunch of little new shards of nail. Jesus. See, yes, Cliff says come to the website if you want Lux to get more of your money instead of YouTube. Donate directly, luxander.net/donate. Lux officially has much better balance than I do. I make a point of, well, not even really make a point. I am a nervous individual who moves around a lot. So, and I cook dinner on a regular basis and I stand while I'm streaming and stuff. So I do things like crane stance. Just, you know, my foot is on my leg, on my knee, and I just am standing with one leg. And then I'll do the other one. And that's just like part of how I move my body. Also, I have relatively powerful leg muscles. and I make a point of like getting up like without using my hands a lot of the time. So if I'm like if I'm on my beanbag chair or anything like that, I get up using the power of my legs. So like even though I'm not exercising right now, I still make a point of using those muscles and doing those things. Highly recommend. Just incorporate movement into your everyday as much as you can. Could you pin PayPal? I have it in my description of here. Like my website processes through PayPal. So if you go through to luxsander.net /donate or luxsander.net /subscribe, which is a monthly, you can add it on, like do a monthly. That's in the description down there. Thank you, Domestic.
Domestic has donated $10. 0.
It says 0 when there's no comment. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do dishes on a balance board. I would hate that. Dishes is already so difficult for me. Like the hot water makes my symptoms worse, and part of my symptoms is having trouble standing. So, oh man, that's something I was so psyched about. Okay, so the last couple of times that I've gone bowling, I feel like I've done a really good job of keeping myself feeling not sick. Like, so, okay, I did splurge a little bit and I bought myself some bowling shoes because you're renting the bowling shoes. They're fucking leather. It's so hot. And I wear compression socks all the time. So I'm like, okay, I'm wearing like basketball shorts and compression socks and usually like a tank top. Like usually this is how I'm dressed when I go bowling. You know, I'm wearing a tank top, I'm wearing basketball shorts. And then the fucking leather shoes, and it's so hot. So I bought myself some shoes that are more breathable. And I've also been like kind of taking it a little slower, which is also just good advice for bowling. You know, a lot of people tend to kind of rush through it. So it's like slow it down. And I haven't felt majorly sick or anything the last couple times. So I feel like I'm finally getting my shit together. I get my cat those silicone claw covers. They can't fully retract their claws with those covers on them. Like they can become infected. They also have to be changed every couple of months. Like there's a lot of reasons why I don't like those. It doesn't matter a lot, except that I really would like to give him a bath for the fleas situation, and I just think that he's going to rip my arms apart. What's the symbol on the tank? Oh, thanks. I'm glad you asked. It was the icon for this channel for a bit. I think I'm just going to keep the icon for this channel like my face from now on. But it's gender anarchy with a dragon wing because the dragon represents me. See all the dragon stuff in the background? We got dragons. And then there, dragon eye. So there's a dragon wing in the background of a gender anarchy symbol. And it's available on my merch store in lots of different permutations. I might actually limit the number of permutations that it's in currently because I don't know how many people are going to buy like the water bottle. I don't know. I don't know if this counts as reverse sexism, but the standard height of a kitchen countertop is designed around an average woman's height. So the more height you have past 5'9", the more your back will hurt from hunching over the sink or counter. I do wish... I feel like I'm in a good little middle height. I'm not going to specify, but like I feel like I'm comfortable with my height. I enjoy it. But like, yeah, I wish that the sink was higher. Like maybe I wish that the sink was like on top of the counter so that my working level with the dishes could be higher. Because it's like the counter might be a decent height for like cutting and stuff. But then I have to do dishes and it's like, oh, now I'm down here and it's fucking awful. I do need a Tranarchy tattoo. Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to getting another tattoo, but my piercings are not done healing. They just got over a couple localized infections. I had like the little, the bumps that you can get around your piercings sometimes. Because it's like, oh, clearly there's like a localized infection that's like it's isolated and there's probably a lot of white blood cells right there. Um, so yeah, I'm not ready to get a new tattoo yet. I would love to though. I want to get a sunflower tattoo up here. The very first tattoo I ever got is up here, and I kind of want to get it covered up. So that's probably the next tattoo I'm gonna get. But I have to wait until my fucking nipples are done healing. Nipples are done healing. Blech. If I ever have the opportunity to get a custom kitchen, I've been told I should have them build it 2 inches taller because my partner and I are both around 6 foot. Yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind. I'm about to be like, okay, maybe I make enough money to start saving up to maybe buy a house someday. um, I really need to meet with somebody at my bank and be like, can you help me with my budget? Yeah. Yeah, my mother-in-law had all of her kitchen counters raised when they planned their house. Yeah. If I ever get a custom kitchen, yes. I'm also like married to a person who's in a family of insane people, like my sister-in-law. And I could be like, hey, sister-in-law, have you ever heard of anybody like just lifting their counters higher, like or like reinstalling the cabinetry maybe? Um, so there is some insanity in my family where we might just take on a project like that on our own. We might just do that on our own. Gender anarchy, I dig it. Personal Christmas present, yeah. Yeah, I've got lots of stuff that I really should buy. And I've got stuff on my like should buy list that I really want or need, and then I keep buying other things instead. I've spent so much money on shit that we need. It's crazy how like now that I guess maybe it's like now that we've moved, or like maybe it's also that you go without a lot of stuff, and then when you have money, you're like, oh fuck, I need to buy the things. And it's not just me, it's also like my partner has stuff that he wants and needs, but his budget is kind of maxed out by the bills that he pays. And then like my younger sibling doesn't have a job, but they need things. Like I'm paying for their bus pass every month and stuff like that right now. So, yeah, it's crazy how like making more money doesn't mean having more money. It just means you have more stuff that you get to spend money on. I was just talking with my artist about covering up my first tattoo as well. It was a Celtic cross, and I don't identify with anything associated with it anymore, and the artist screwed up the triskelion in it too. Yeah, mine is a gender symbol. I just don't really feel that it's necessary to have a gender symbol on my body anymore, and also like arguably not safe to. And I like sunflowers. Sunflowers are the state flower of Kansas, where I'm from, and they also have been at times associated with death in various cultures, which I like that. And it would also be like my first actual artistic piece. This is the closest I've gotten to getting like art on my body. But even then, like I frankly think that I should get this like shaded at some point to make it prettier. I don't know. I kind of liked the juxtaposition of the cartoonish skull with the like hyper realistic looking rose. I still like this tattoo. It's just like, I don't know. It could be like shaded and prettier and stuff. I don't know. Just increase the hyperrealism by adding even more detail to the rose. I may never get tattoos, seeing how my body reacts negatively to piercing metal of almost any kind. I think it's fundamentally different getting a tattoo versus getting a piercing in that way. Because, like, there's not, like, heavy metals in the inks. Memento Mori tattoos are some of my favorites. Yes, I got my Memento Mori tattoo after Unis Honest. Oh man, and the 5-year anniversary of the deletion of the channel was this week. We watched the live stream. They had like a commemorative live stream of it, and that was unexpected. I guess I lost track of. I didn't realize that it was the anniversary, and then I was like, wait, there's a live stream. What's going on? Just a commemorative chit chatting. If I got a tattoo, it would be a watercolor space related tattoo. I would say do your research on that, because from my understanding, watercolor type tattoos are not super color fast. Like, parts of it will fade out, especially if it's anywhere that can that's uncovered by clothing. Um, but yeah, the watercolor type, I've looked into that before. It's Some artists don't recommend you do it. Like, of course, there are plenty of artists who will do it regardless of whether it's going to be color fast. And by that color fast meaning the color lasts for a long time. But if you've got, some of the kind of purples and greens will fade out into like nothingness basically, and yeah, I don't know. It's a cool idea, but it's tricky, and you might have to get it touched up like multiple times throughout your lifetime. Deletion of what channel? Unis Honest? Do I have anything Unis Honest related in my vicinity right now? I don't think I do. It was a channel made by Markiplier and Ethan Nestor, who are two YouTubers, and they made a video a day for a year. And the idea was like, a lot of the videos were just like shit posting. Let's post a video for a year. But then they had planned the entire time to delete the entire channel at the end of the year. And they had a consistent theme running through it that was like, yeah, haha, we're doing funny bullshit stuff and we're trying to have new experiences and all this. But also, life is finite. When people die, sometimes all you have are the memories. We're not going to allow people to re-upload full videos. They do allow some small, like, you can upload like a clip from something from Unis Honest, and like there are pictures and memes and stuff, but the actual thing is gone. And you can't get the merch anymore. The merch was only available during the time that the channel was live. All this kind of stuff. So it was like an artistic project in that way. And I found it quite affecting. And it was wonderful to experience while it was going on. And now it's been 5 years since they deleted the channel. They had a 12-hour live stream on the last day, and then they deleted the channel at the end. Oh, damn. Tamron says, I have a few tattoos I want to get, but they have to look good in black and white because I have a shellfish allergy and I can't use any inks that have red in them. Holy shit. I did not know that was a thing. So people who have shellfish allergies also need to be really careful about tattoos. That's the kind of thing that I would not have thought about. And I hope that, man, there's probably a lot of people who've been fucked by that, who like, they wouldn't have thought that the dye in something would trigger their allergies. Ugh, God. I kind of want a pink opaque ghost tattoo. Yeah. Other people have done that too. Yeah. Okay, close that. Yeah, tattoos are cool. Body modification is cool. The red dye in tattoo ink is made from a form of krill. Are there hypoallergenic inks? I have no idea. I mean, there's lots of different types of ink. The problem is that it's not regulated. So, it's based on a sort of word of mouth. Like, don't ever get a glow-in-the-dark tattoo, okay? Because the inks, I've seen people working with the inks, and you have to, like, continuously mix it in order for it to not, like, it's trying to separate even as they're, like, giving you the tattoo. So it, like, separates under your skin, and your body breaks it down super fast, and they don't last at all. Like, and it's arguably not safe to put in your body, but I don't actually want to make any hardcore claims about that. Are there hypoallergenic twinks? Twinks that don't cause your allergies to go crazy? Yeah, I'm a non-allergy person. I have a tattoo. I have 5 tattoos, but I don't know a lot about allergies. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Oh man, you know what's going to be great is after I get done with this stream, I'm going to immediately make a cup of my blue herbal tea and I'm going to rest my voice and it's going to feel great. I'm definitely only going 3 hours today. We're definitely not doing 4. I was recently exposed to a person who was like talking about being dysphoric when she's not blue. I think she might also be trans, but I don't know if that was related. But she was like, I'm looking into getting full body tattooing because I feel dysphoric when I'm not blue. And I just think that it's like body modification is so cool, you know? That like when I really get it in my head that I want a body modification, when I'm really like, oh yeah, no, for sure, I definitely want to get such and such, like I definitely want to get this piercing or whatever, it becomes part of my self picture before I even get it, you know, to a point where sometimes it can feel weird that I don't have it yet. And that can change over time, you know. I really felt like my lip rings were part of my face for a really long time. And then just the sensation of them on my teeth became impossible to live with on a day-to-day basis. So I took them out, and I really don't have any plans to put them back in, which is kind of weird because, yeah, I had them for like 15 years. Unfortunately, there are no blue tattoo inks that won't turn green. Yeah, she was saying that the color that she wants doesn't exist. Or, I don't know, that's what the article was saying. Or maybe it was that was the issue, that an ink that won't fade out didn't exist, maybe. But she is looking into it. You know, they're maybe gonna have a custom ink made for her or something. The way that I always handled it when I was dyeing my hair blue to counteract the fact that it fades out into green was I would put a little bit of purple in. So when it first came out, the first couple days, it would be like almost a purpley blue, and then it would fade out to the color that I actually wanted. But I don't know how that would work for your entire skin, like all of your skin. Yeah, hand tattoos, people, they break down really fast. It's like the cellular turnover in your hand skin is like a little bit higher than other parts of your body, so the tattoos can get fucked up faster. And also like friction and stuff can break down tattoos, so putting them on your hands, especially the small details, which even in the best of times, super small detail tattoos do not necessarily last. Like there's every chance that my rose, as I get older, especially if it's in a place where it could sometimes get sunlight, maybe, I don't know, I guess the tank top kind of covers it, but that rose could easily turn into a blob later. Like, I have to be prepared for that eventuality. Shit happens. It felt like my sleeve was a part of me the day after the first session completed. Woke up and it felt right. It's the closest I've been to understanding the dysmorphia of others. Totally. Body modification is huge for self-concept. I imagine there'd have to be a topical dye that would be easier overall. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, and like you're probably right that there is a topical dye that you could use, but consider, okay, it's kind of like me with my nose, right? I was talking earlier about how I can't breathe through my nose, mostly like at night, like I have trouble with it. And I want to get it fixed surgically because right now I'm having to either buy adhesives on my nose, and then I'm generating a bunch of plastic trash from having the adhesives pulling my nose open, and, you know, the inconvenience of like trying to moisturize my face at night and then having to put a sticker on my face immediately afterwards, or like, you know, scheduling that, like, you know, oh, I have to wait a little bit longer to go to bed now, or like wipe my nose off and get rid of the benefit of the lotion that I used there. The inconvenience of having this thing on my face every night. And like, girl, it doesn't feel sexy either, okay? Or I also recently, and like, okay, that's costing me like $20 a month for a box of those things for my nose. Or I recently bought a plastic thing that goes inside my nose and holds it open in the front. And that's been useful as well. But again, I have to disinfect it. I have to use it every day. It's not exactly comfortable. It's not very sexy, right? So I have the same complaints. And it's also I should replace it every few months. Even if I'm disinfecting it, I should still replace it because it's in my nose all the time. So for these reasons, you can see why a one-time permanent solution like having the inside of my nose surgically altered so that I don't have to continue dealing with the day-to-day inconvenience of that. At a certain point, you're like, oh my fucking God, I don't want to. That's why I got this birth control in my arm, because I don't want to be taking a pill every day and have the anxiety of like, oh my God, am I going to miss the pill? Like, it's fucking annoying, you know? So, same thing. I'm sure that there is a dye that she can use on a regular basis, but then she's having to dye her skin once a week instead of just getting a tattoo once, or even a tattoo once that she then touches up in 10 years. Oh no, right? Yeah, I feel like it would just be an inconvenience to have to do that all the time. You're either doing makeup every day or a dye once a week or get a tattoo and just fucking not deal with it. Are you producing After Dark tonight? Yes, I am producing After Dark. So honestly, I think it might just be like, let's just commit to doing 3-hour streams from now on instead of trying to push myself to the 4 hours and then I have to do the After Dark show later. And maybe I can start an hour later on Wednesdays so that I have an extra hour to do other work in the morning. I don't know. That's why I want the implant too, but my doctor recommended against it. Why? I mean, okay, to be fair, I when I got the implant, I bled for like 7 months and then it went away, and then it seemed like I wasn't going to do it again, and then I had a period that lasted a little bit less than a week, and then it went away for a week and a half, and now I've been bleeding for 34 days. So, the implant does kind of suck in that way. And like that's another thing that I'm thinking about going to the doctor for this year is like I might just go ahead and get back on a birth control on top of the implant, and then I can take it but like not have to worry about, oh my God, my pregnancy protection is going to go away if I miss it one time, but just to like stop myself from bleeding constantly, that might be a preferred option. We're going to get Lux poles. I don't know, guys, I'm tired. The poles are much higher quality when I'm feeling sassy. Who's on tonight anyway? It's probably Forrest. And wait, hold on. No. The schedule is over here. What is today? 16? Okay. It's Forrest and Austin. I don't know. I've never met Austin, so I don't know anything about him. Okay, chat's back. I guess it was... Okay, that makes sense, Melatonin. It wasn't recommended to me because I'm anemic, maybe, and I already had something like bleeding for a month straight from a previous birth control. That makes sense. Yeah, I have some iron pills. They're like 300% of your daily iron, so I'm not like taking them regularly, but every once in a while I'm like, I should probably go ahead and do that. Eric from Skeptics and Scoundrels. I'm sure I have, but I am not able to remember what his face looks like. Oh, I love Eric. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yes, I know who that is. God, I'm bad. I'm like, I just met like 20 new people and I don't see them regularly enough to actually commit their names to memory. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm going to spend my birthday with my sister, get that family support and care, and yes. Yesterday morning, my partner and I went bowling with our friend. Amazing. Love that. Had a great time. Came home, did our own thing for a little while. Or we played WoW together on and off yesterday. And then we like he ended up he was like, I'm trying to work on my 3D printer. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be up and around and doing stuff. And he occasionally was asking me for help with it. So I was like, okay, well, my office is a fucking wreck because I've been depressed. So, you know, we're dealing with that. We're trying to recover. We're trying to organize things, put things back in order somewhat. And it has been a process. But yeah, it was so good to like spend time and just hang out and like be physically in the same room as somebody. And, you know, it's hard when you're like in a relationship where you both have like trauma and some of the trauma comes from the relationship and some of it is pre-existing. And so you're like, let's just teach our bodies to be safe in each other's presence, please. That would be great. The IUD. I had an IUD and the cramping was insane. It was the most painful cramping I've ever had and it wouldn't go away. Like once a month for a week, I would have a period and it was the worst cramping I've ever had in a period. And I got it taken out after like 7 or 8 months because I couldn't fucking deal with it anymore. And also the insertion was traumatic. It was fucked up. Like I literally had to do exposure therapy to try to get over it. What else have we done this past week? Or what's coming up this week? Man, I just want to do a little PSA real quick. Thanksgiving is not this upcoming week. I know I feel like it usually is the third Thursday. Why is it not the third Thursday this year? Like, I don't know why it's the 27th. Am I just wrong? Is it not usually the third Thursday? I just feel insane. So, one full week. I'm on Takis this week. Got podcast recording tomorrow. Got my show on Wednesday, which I guess I'm planning to just do normally until maybe I'll change my mind between now and then of like which time I'm going to do it. And then next week, the holiday season. Is it usually the fourth Thursday? I like, why is Thanksgiving the last week of the month this year? Is there an answer? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I guess the last Thursday in November became the norm in 1863 with a declaration by President Abraham Lincoln. So I just am losing my mind. I guess it's always been the last Thursday. Okay. This Thursday is TDOR. I thought it was this past Thursday. November 14th is Trans Day of Remembrance. So it was 2 days ago, right? Just losing my mind, apparently. Speaking of Takis, what did you think of Jack? I think Arden and Jack had a great energy together. I didn't watch it. I was doing other stuff before I had to go on Calling It Now. Holy shit, I thought it was the third as well. Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. I guess this is one of those Mandela effect things. But yeah, so no, I didn't watch Takis with Arden and Jack. I also didn't watch any of the times that Mama Methy has been on. That's my bad. Nope, it's 20th. No, it's not. I hope you're messing with me, Trinket. It is not. It feels like it. Yeah, then I know. Like, it feels like it should be this Thursday. Somebody at my partner's work thought that it was this week too, and I'm like, no. But I'm excited to get to do Friendsgiving. Like, my friend is making, I think he said he was going to make a potato dish of some kind. So my partner really wants a ham. I think I might do like a small turkey, or I might spatchcock a small turkey. My partner was like, I don't give a shit about the bird at all. And it's like, okay, well, you're in the minority here. I think everybody else wants the bird. So yeah, I might spatchcock a small turkey. And then a ham you can just buy pre-cooked and then just preheat it. It's not a fucking big deal. Oh, TDOR. Sorry, is the 20th. Okay, sorry. I was thinking Thanksgiving. My bad. Yeah, look at y'all getting your crowns. They've introduced some of the gamified aspects of the chat from Twitch, and they've introduced it over here on YouTube. So little things like the crown, and you guys have the little emoji thing that you can do now where you send little heart emojis like I just did. Fruitcake cookies. Oh, that sounds crazy. And a couple pies. My partner is taking charge of the dessert situation. We I cleaned up the kitchen with my younger sibling and like did the whole like, you pull out the microwave and get behind the microwave and shit like that. So it's like clean, and then supposedly some experimentation with baking is supposed to happen so that we can be prepared for when it actually happens. In the past, I've done a sweet potato pie. I really love a sweet potato pie rather than a pumpkin pie. I don't know what it is about the flavor. It's just a little bit better. Other than that, it's basically the same thing. But I guess it's because like it's kind of easier to cook with raw yams as part of it rather than like I've never done the whole like buy an actual pumpkin and try to cook the pumpkin. And I don't want to get a can. It just feels lazy. Wait, Lux is a YouTube featured stream now? How did that happen? I guess it was just like recommended to you, perhaps. Yes, sweet potato. Sweet potato. So I'm like, if my friend is doing a potato dish, my partner is doing a dessert, then I guess I can just focus on doing like I don't know. I'm really partial to a green bean casserole. I know some other people are more like I just want like a really well done green bean situation. So I haven't really decided which way I'm going to go with that yet. I also haven't thought about like maybe I could get some fresh green beans instead of getting a can, and maybe that could elevate the meal. It said YouTube featured right under the stream on my homepage. Well, yeah, but I don't know what that means. Like, do they just use that when they're showing it to someone? I have not seen that. I don't know. It's certainly not like I'm hitting YouTube trending or anything. Pumpkin, not that difficult, just time consuming. Time consuming equals difficult. Like when you have ADHD and like struggle to stay on task with things, and you also like have fatigue and it's hard to be up and around sometimes, like something being time consuming definitely increases the difficulty level if you are disabled. So like a lot of my dinners are oriented around like, okay, how can I do this like quickly and efficiently so that I'm not in here for a fucking hour and a half, Ooh, Faulty Branches. First time hosting family Thanksgiving for both sides of the family. Kind of dreading it. My brother and mother-in-law are awesome, but the others... I mean, I think that the wonderful thing about you hosting it in your house is that you can be like, hey, get the fuck out of my house if somebody's an asshole. You feel free to give fair warning, you know, for the first person who's an asshole, be like, hey, I just want to be clear with everybody. There is a complete option on the table if you are a jerk where I'm going to say, get the fuck out of my house. And so I'm warning you now so that you are not surprised later where if you are a jerk, I might say, get the fuck out of my house. And I will expect you to proceed to get the fuck out of my house. Like, we're not dealing with it. This is my house. I'm not going to stand on disrespect in my own kitchen. Slow cooker recipes. God, I love pot roast. It's so like expensive. I feel like chuck roast is why is it so expensive? But yeah, it's delicious and it's easy. It's really hard to fuck it up. I feel like I need more slow cooker recipes, especially if I have this job where I'm working in the evening. I need to be able to just like do the majority of the actual prep work in the morning and then just leave it in there all day. But I don't have a ton of... I also do like a Mexican chili where I'll do the beans and the chicken and I'll slow cook those. And then at the end of the process, I'll add in like a can of corn or something. And that's pretty good. But it could be... I just need a wider variety. Those are kind of the only ones that I have as far as slow cooker meals that I like and that my family likes and that are consistently like hitting all the notes. But I hope, it's like, I guess I don't need to give all my well wishes for Thanksgiving just yet. I do hope that people have a good holiday and that like you don't have to sit there and tolerate any bullshit this year. Hopefully you at least get some portion of your celebration that gets to be just like you with the people that you actually love and care about, and not just you and the people you're blood related to who you feel a sense of obligation to hang out with twice a year. Bacon, acorn, squash, and then add butter and brown sugar. Bro, that sounds so good. Oh, that sounds crazy. I did make squash soup one time, butternut squash soup, and I found out when I did that butternut squash, when it's raw at least, has some kind of horrendous enzyme in it that makes your skin fall off. Which was a wild thing to discover. Now I know to Google that kind of thing beforehand. Like, hey, if I handle butternut squash with my bare hands, is it going to make an entire layer of my skin just dry and fall off? Like, okay. The acorn squash trick is great all year round. You need to cut it in half before baking. Yeah, sure. Cut it in half. Never eating butternut squash. No, you can eat it when you cook it. It's fine. But if you prepare it with your bare hands, it will it'll dry out the top layer of your skin and then it will peel off. But if you wear like gloves, that would be fine. Just wear gloves if you're going to be preparing a butternut squash. That's all I'm saying. And also butternut squash soup is delicious. It was delicious. Funk Gorving. And then I gotta think of what are my plans for Christmas, you know? I'm like, I know that I'm not really gonna get anything. Like, you know, the people in my immediate circles don't have a budget to buy me anything. So I'm like, okay. Maybe I'll arrange like, hey guys, 1 week in December, can you guys handle cooking dinner for a week? And like I'll still buy all of the dinners, but you guys make them. I don't know. Just give me a break. I need to make dinner, but have no squanch. No squanch. I make squash every other week, and this has never happened. Are you allergic, maybe? I mean, nobody's talking smack about butternut squash. It just destroyed my skin. Like, butternut squash raw hands. Okay, yeah, I guess some people have an allergic skin reaction that's called squash hands. Dry peeling of the fingers and palm. Hand dermatitis secondary to exposure to butternut squash. Okay, so it is a mild allergy on my skin. Butternut squash releases a sticky sap-like substance when cut, which can create a film on your skin that feels stiff and itchy. Hands become covered with a stiff orange film that's difficult to remove. Palms start feeling tight, red, and crackly. This is the description of butternut squash dermatitis. So yeah, it's like a skin reaction that some people have to butternut squash. But yeah, just wear gloves and you'll be fine. Squash hands. Yeah. Slow cooker soup for Thanksgiving. Butternut squash, rutabaga, carrots, celery, radishes, sunchokes in a rando veggie stock with honey, allspice, and paprika to taste. What? So just like a delicious vegetable medley with lots of sweet components. How does radish end up in a slow cooker? Like, I don't think I've ever had radish cooked. I've only ever had raw radish. How does it turn? I don't think I've ever eaten rutabaga. Honey, allspice, and paprika. So it's like a sweet, savory deal. That sounds crazy. But like in a good way. That sounds delicious. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay. I'm apparently screwing myself. If I put something political in the title and then I dick around, people hate that. They'll leave a like and then they'll leave. I'm like, all right, well, too bad. I'll be honest next time. I won't include the politics thing because it's more incidental that I talk about the politics thing. So, lesson learned. Won't include that next time. Goodness gracious. Well, y'all, it's a little bit early, but my voice is sore. Radish is good in soups and slow cooker stuff. Yeah, I really am gonna look forward to getting this herbal tea thing going on, and I hope that it makes my voice feel better because, yeah, and also I'm really tired. I think that I probably couldn't breathe through a lot of last night, and not just in the morning when I couldn't breathe and gasped myself awake. So I'm a sleepy. It's just throw in the occasional, how about that epi boy, true. Radish and rutabaga are early additions as they take a long time to break down. Oh yeah, they have lots of fiber and like a hardcore root vegetable thing. Radish flavor leaves a bit from the starch and infuses with the soup. The whole thing is sweet and savory. My brother's vegetarian and I used to be. I didn't even read that title. I just saw you were live and needed something to listen to while I played Skyrim. True. Oh man, I just got my level 40 mount on my priest on WoW. So that's only my second character that has a mount. Good gracious. Okay, well, yeah, my voice hurts. I'm gonna go make some tea. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Yeah, let me look at the schedule for the rest of the week. I'll be producing tonight and the next 2 nights, and then I'll see you on Wednesday for the show, and I'll be on Takis this week. Man, I am hoping that I get a good... I'm gonna take a solid, like, vacay situation around Thanksgiving, because, like, my partner's gonna be off work and stuff, so I'm looking forward to... I might even not stream the night before Thanksgiving and just have, like, a 1, 2, 3... Man, that's 2 streams that I would be missing, though. I'll decide later, I guess, like, there's the Wednesday and the Sunday. I might do one and not the other, so maybe I'll do, like... I'll skip the one on the 30th or something. I don't know. I just am so sleepy all the time. Okay, I love you very much, everybody. You're the awesomest, and You all are so wonderful and generous with your time and with your money, and thank you for hanging out and being such chill individuals. And I'll see you Wednesday, I guess. Yeah.